Greetings, YouTube. This is your good friend, Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. I been thinking this morning, what does it mean to be black? That's just something that really sticks in my mind because I find myself, even as an adult now, trying to define what blackness is. Just as back in the day, whiteness was defined, and even the whole if anyone has one drop of the Negro strain in them, they are classed as a Negro. That whole idea, I did a video about it a while back. The one thing I noticed is that I find myself faced with that question. What is black? What is black culture? What is being black? And I come up with a blank. Is it merely my skin color? Is it a frame of mind? Is it a way of speech? Is it a way of life? Now, I think about this due to the fact that throughout my life, I have always been seen as not being black enough. A friend of mine and I were talking one day, and she was just relaying to me that for so long, blacks have had to fight the stigmas associated with just being born black. Now we're defining what black is and what black isn't. I began thinking about this. I read this book. It was a collection of essays by Joseph C. Phillips. Joseph C. Phillips, he was in Strictly Business with Tommy Davidson. He played a corporate guy who Halle Berry, a very young Halle Berry, is his love interest. He was also Denise Huxtable's husband on The Cosby Show, the guy from the military. And he wrote a book called He Talked Like a White Boy. And he is conservative, and there were some things in his book that I sort of disagreed with. But there were other things that I could identify with. Growing up, he talked about how, because of the way he talked, he didn't have the so-called patois of the black male, or what is common to the black male. So his patois, or lack thereof, kept him away from many sisters and so forth. And he even went down a humorous list of what was in his album collection. He talked about being a corny guy. Tom Lehrer, which I know who Tom Lehrer is. And if you're black and you know who Tom Lehrer is, I think he said, you better make yourself L7. You better make yourself square because you're square. um, and he talked about liking Gene Autry and things like that. And I can remember being young, and one of my favorite groups back in high school, I even had a collection of their greatest hits, was the Fifth Dimension. Now they were black, but they definitely had that kind of chipper, upbeat sound. I can remember also liking Broadway show tunes, and yes, I'm heterosexual and love the ladies, but yeah, I liked me some good show tunes back in the day. And he was just saying that how, based on the music he listened to and even how he spoke, he was sort of cast into this wasteland of in-betweenness, where though he had the black skin, he wasn't deemed black enough by his peers. And I understood that, where though I had black skin and have a black mother and a black father, I was not deemed black enough. So I was in this sort of in-between world where it was like, I'm not black, but yet I am, but yet I'm not. And I kind of got into the whole thing of, in that small way, I could sort of see into the psychology of those that might be born biracial. and one culture may be unaccepting of them due to the other culture. Now, I won't compare my experiences to that of being biracial, but that's the closest comparison or contrast I can make. Is I knew what it was like to be, yet here I was black, but because of my speech and maybe my way of dress, or maybe the music I listened to, I was ostracized and I didn't attain any sort of, I got no quote unquote black street cred. Another thing is, well, what is black? Now, every other culture, and this is pointed out, every other culture is named after a landmass, not their skin color. Every other culture. Indians come from India. If you're speaking of the native indigenous peoples of the Americas, we make, they mistakenly call them Indians, but they may call themselves Lakota or Osage or Cheyenne. And that's what they name themselves. They don't name themselves, oh, red, I'm red. I mean, they may say that now because they're dealing with other cultures and clashing with other cultures. And that's what happens when we meet the other. We have to deal with how they view the world as well as how we view the world, and how those things may be opposed. Those worldviews may oppose one another or be in opposition to one another. But the one thing I noticed is we're the only ones that call ourselves black. And white people call themselves white. And the fact that I use the term white people. Now, in theory, aren't we all supposed to be Americans because we were all born on this landmass? In theory. Just as if I were born and raised in Germany and spoke German, I would be German, right? I wouldn't be white. And I'm sure every nation has their own racial classifications, but it seems that we don't just say, hey, I'm American. Like this person says, hey, I'm Japanese. Hey, I'm Chinese. Hey, I'm Korean. Hey, I'm Australian. Hey, I'm Turkish. I'm black. No connect. I can't go to the African continent and say, hey guys, remember me? My ancestors were here. And I can't come to America, which I'm living in America, but I'm not. I feel that we're just a few generations away from the whole racist ideas. And some of those ideas are still prevalent in there, and they have to take time to die out, which it takes a while. And I just wanted to say all of that just to say, well, put the question out there and just struggle with that. What is blackness? Is it what you eat? Is it what you drink? Is it the music you listen to? Because many things that are said to be eaten by black people and listened to by black people and worn by black people, white people also embrace this too. Is it my pattern of speech? Is it my vernacular? I mean, hell, my manner of speech has been attacked, and my mannerisms have been attacked to the point where people have even asked, are you homosexual? I mean, so people have said some really messed up things to me. I've even been asked, was I from America? Was I from St. Louis? I'm definitely from St. Louis, and I'm definitely American born and American educated. So, YouTube, what is black? And who decides what's black and what isn't? Food for thought. Take care, people. Later.